And with that, Andy, I'd love to invite you up and maybe kind of do a brief Q&A with you about your experiences with offering the program.
Sure.
Andy, you want to sit or do you want to stand?
How about I just lean up against this guy?
Okay, so I think everyone has been waiting patiently for this part of it. So I'm thrilled that Andy has kind of joined us here. Andy, as I said, is Director of HR at 21C Museum and Hotels. And 21C's got a very unique mix of employees. Like a lot of you in the audience, you've got some folks in the field, and you've got some folks obviously in corporate or sort of at the home office, I would say.
Sure.
And Andrew kind of brought on DailyPay as a benefit for really all of the employees. So, Andy, let me start with just give us some of your background. How did you get into HR? All of that.
Sure. So thanks, Jason. I actually started in HR on accident. I was right out of school, and I actually started doing IT and engineering recruiting. Fast forward a little later, I actually ended up working in HR for Amazon in a couple of their fulfillment centers. I then moved on to their corporate office in Seattle in a risk management role. And fast forward, I ended up doing some workforce development for the city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County. And I've been with 21C almost 6 years now.
Okay, and Andy, over those 6 years, have you been able to define, I guess today, what are the strategic priorities from an HR standpoint today?
Yeah, so I can tell you that things have changed over the last several years. So for us, our priority is to continue to add value to our benefits and what we consider our already rich benefits. But also, we want to have a great experience for our team and our teammates. We want them to enjoy being where they're at. And so that work never stops, and we're always continuing to do that, while at the same time trying to be competitive against other companies within our own industry, as well as those other emerging industries such as Amazon and warehousing. That's really just taking a very already shallow pool of people and making it even smaller.
Now, Andy, I didn't bring your soapbox, but but I think someone flashed up here this ad here about Amazon raising wages. How is that impacting your business, just given your locations, and what are you doing about it?
So for the record, I started talking about this about a year and a half ago because their wages were already $2 to $3 higher than what ours were in the hospitality area for essentially the same person, same skill set. So what we're continuing to do is just to look at whatever we can bring on that gives us an edge and what keeps us competitive out there that makes us look a little bit more attractive.
And what prompted you, Andy, to look at DailyPay? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could have done and that you are doing. So what prompted you to look at DailyPay as an option?
Sure. So I was completely oblivious to the idea of folks being able to have access to earned but unpaid wages. And then one morning I received an email about this and I thought, wow, this could be what really turns the tide for us in regards to recruitment. And so after a little bit of looking around, it was clear to see that this was really something that could work for us. And so now we've definitely included it into our benefit guide, just right along with medical, dental, vision, and all of those other benefits that we offer.
So Andy's, I think we have the math somewhere here, but basically the turnover, Andy, for your group has been cut relative to your pre-DailyPay or comparing it to non-DailyPay users by about a third. And so that's probably a meaningful cost savings for 21C to cut a third, 33% reduction in the turnover rate. It's just remarkable. I don't know if you want to share on that.
I mean, that's a huge number, and let me just say that any reduction is welcome. But I mean, that number in particular is just a huge amount, and that is actually without us really not doing anything except making it available. We don't constantly ask folks if they've use DailyPay in a very similar way that we wouldn't ask them if they've recently been to the doctor. So we haven't scratched the surface on really selling that. We don't use it yet as part of our recruiting literature and things like that. So there are tons of options, and with those results already, who knows what will happen.
So Andy, I want to kind of walk people through this data here, and I'm actually going to read some of these. So we polled in connection with 21C the actual employee base. The left-hand side in green are numbers relative to how people are using the program. The right-hand side in blue are the results. And the why we've juxtaposed these is so you can see the connection. DailyPay has helped me pay bills on time. 86% of respondents said that's why they're using it, which is why it's not surprising that 71% say that their opinion of the company has actually improved since offering it. I pay fewer late fees because of DailyPay. A third of the population saying that, which is why 100% of the folks are saying, well, now I'd actually recommend that people come and work at this company. So that's kind of the connection that folks are seeing. Andy, give us, we laughed about this before. Give me a little bit of the sense of how no news is good news. I mean, kind of because I think a lot of folks here are wondering about that implementation.
So for those of you that work closely with benefits, you never hear about it when it's working well, right? Mm-hmm. And so we don't hear a lot. We don't get a lot of feedback in regards to DailyPay. In fact, I have asked consistently as I'm walking through our properties for some feedback, and it just isn't there. And so with my HR hat on, I wear it proudly that no news is good news, because that means it's working. We can totally see that it's being utilized. And let me just say, just to point out this piece about recommending 21C, I mean, for those of you that conduct annual teammate surveys, that's the question you want answered, right? And for 100% of those folks that have used DailyPay to be able to answer that question.
Yeah, one thing we say is we don't care about our NPS. We care about your NPS. That's really what we care about, is improving your eNPS, not ours. So I think that's kind of what we see here in spades. Andy, thank you for sharing your experience. I think
thank you all.
They're trying to get us out of here, but we're around for questions after the sesh. And again, thanks so much for your time. If you want to learn more, we've got that. Whoever won the sausage contest, come get your gift card. But we're open for any questions afterwards. Yep.
Does this work with the payroll system? How does
We have 10 minutes?
data flow back and forth?
We actually have 8 minutes for questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Go ahead.
You guys don't have to rush it.
Yep.
So for our integration process, it was fairly seamless. And when I say seamless, I mean DailyPay did all of the hard, heavy lifting. We use ADP, which for any of you that may be familiar with ADP, it sometimes is very non-movable and is difficult to use. But these guys did all of the work in making that happen. So it was fairly easy. Of course, we chose to pilot it at one of our locations instead of just rolling it out to all. But after several months of that pilot, we were good to go.
There's no change to the payroll system. Our thing kind of fits in between whatever payroll system you have today.
So does it run then, if someone takes $500 out on Monday, is there a daily cash transaction report, or does it all run cumulative to payday on Friday?
So this is a bit a longer question, but the short answer is you actually don't have to change anything about the payroll process. All of that deduction stuff happens behind the scenes without the company's involvement. But we can certainly walk you through those precise mechanics. Yes? Sure. Yep. So again, I think we referenced it. We charge there's only one fee, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Only one fee, ever, ever. And that is a transaction fee. It is no different than the ATM machine that's in the lobby of this hotel. If you don't use it, you don't pay a fee. If you need $100, you'll pay whatever their $3 fee is. There's a $2.99 fee that we charge. It can be employer or employee paid. 93% of companies have the employees just pay it. So they view it like an ATM machine. I brought this ATM machine and installed it at my office for your convenience. That's my part. And if the employees want to use it, great. If they don't need it, no problem.
Is this U.S. only, or is this also in other countries?
So currently, we only offer this in the U.S. Our next country, obviously, is Canada. But right now, it's only in the U.S. Okay. Anything else? Great. Well, we'll be around. Again, Jason, thank you. Andy, Jamie, for your help, and I appreciate it, guys.